you ever wake up in the middle of the night, let's say 3 in the morning, and you wake up and you have this fantastic idea? Clap if you know what I'm talking about. Man, and that idea is so good, you're tossing and turning because you can't sleep. You're tossing and turning so much so, your significant other kicks you out of bed. And what do? You get up and you start thinking about this idea. You can't sleep. 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. By 5 o'clock, you are convinced this is the best idea you've ever had. By 6 in the morning, man, you've made your first $1 million. Where? Up here. By 7 or 8 o'clock, you are retired. Where? Up here. You are so fired up about this idea, you can't wait for somebody to wake up so you can tell them this idea. Sure enough, you hear somebody. Family, friend, colleague, somebody wakes up. What do? You run over there to tell them this idea. And you said, man, I got to tell you this idea. I was up all night, let me explain it to you. Then you start going into detail about this idea. And at that moment, you ask that key question, man, what do you think? And at that very moment, the dream killer has shown up. Clap if you know what I'm talking about. Things were going good up to that point. Now, here's what I noticed about a dream killer. They're just not going to stab your idea, twist it up, and kill it. No. They've learned to chop it down slowly right in front of you. Let me show you how it works. You approach them with the great idea. What do you think? Dream killer's response. I mean, it sounds like a good idea. Well, that's not the response you were waiting for. So you're like, man, you're not understanding me. Let me explain it again. You see what I mean now? Dream killer's response. Yeah, I just never seen anybody do it that way before. And at this very moment, your idea is on life support. You gotta what? You gotta bring it, if you know what I mean. So you break out the PowerPoints, you break out the maps, the whiteboard. You have that Jerry Maguire moment where you write up the manifesto, grab it, slap it on the table, says, man, can you now see my idea? Dream killer's response, the final stab, the twisting of the knife, to kill your idea. They say something like this. I mean, if you want to do it, go ahead. Now what happens? You walk away from that conversation saying, man, that was the dumbest idea I've ever had. I can't believe I stayed up all night. Fast forward life. 1 year later, what do you see? Your idea. And you're like, but that was my idea.
We have stereotypes in our minds about what counts as ability, what counts as success, what counts as normal. And we apply them everywhere. They're often just built into our mental furniture. We don't even know we're doing it half the time. So a lot of what I've been arguing for, I suppose, during my life is for a more thoroughgoing principle of diversity in education, that human life thrives on diversity. And our education systems are modeled, ironically, on the principle of conformity. So what it comes to for me is this, that we are living in times of revolution, and over the next 50 years, we'll face challenges which no previous generation of humanity has ever had to deal with. And to do that, we have to think differently about ourselves and about the way we run our communities and our schools and our education systems and our organizations.